What's up, everybody? It's the Rogue in Disguise, North American community contributor for World of Warships Blitz and general content creator on Facebook. So today I want to show you guys something really cool, okay, in OBS Studio. And you can also use this in Streamlabs OBS as well. And it works in both cases either way. I'm going to show you how to make this cool little shadow backdrop that you see right behind me right now. And I'm going to show you how to do something else as well and use a non-chroma scene and a chroma scene using one single camera. That's it, just one camera. I'm going to show you how to do that. So smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and turn that bell to all to catch all that we do. So when you get OBS Studio loaded up on your device of what you're choosing here, preferably a computer, you want to set up your camera right away, and you want to set up a scene. Do first to set up as my camera, because that's going to probably be one of the things that's going to be featured on the stream. If not, set up your scene and go about it. But if you're trying to learn how to use a single web camera without a chroma scene and use the same camera for a chroma scene, use a cool backdrop in the same video, this is the place to be. So we're going to do it right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rename this first scene here. We're going to rename it main camera. Okay, no filters, so we know the difference between everything else. We have scenes and we have sources. The sources are all your video inputs, your graphics, your overlays, and everything like that. Those are the sources. Your scene is the accumulation of all those sources that are observed during your live stream. So we know now the difference. The one thing here is that we're going to apply all our filters to our scenes and not to our sources. So the first thing that first source that we're going to put in is a video capture device known as the Logitech C15 that I'm using in this demonstration. So I'm going to type that out. Boom, new one. It's going to pick up the first device. Beautiful. All right, so that being said, we're going to stretch this out a little bit here. I don't know why it doesn't do that, but we can do it this way. So you can see here it comes into the small little format right here, and it's not right. What we want to do for resolution with the C15, it has a capability of 1920 by 1080, so we want to utilize that. So we're going to go into custom, right? It doesn't appear at first, but we're going to go into resolution, which is right under the custom box, and we're going to pick 1920 by 1080 or whatever resolution that you want, but you can do that. We're going to go with the highest FPS, so we have the highest frames per second. We're going to switch the color range from default to partial because it makes it run a little smoother and you get a little bit more clarity. And if you run full, it sometimes, specifically with my processor, it doesn't really get the full range of color that we want and it doesn't render it correctly. So this is why I go with partial. So we're going to hit OK and we're going to be done with that. Okay, I look okay. I might probably want to reposition my camera, turn it this way, turn it that way. We notice we got a little bit of a hot spot in the top right here. That's fine. We're going to be able to correct that. So what we probably want to do is probably go into the camera settings itself, adjust all the configurations that we want to. The one thing that we want to make sure is that we have the autofocus turned off. And we also want to make sure any white balance autos, any brightness autos, anything that's automatic needs to be turned off, because we want to set these settings and leave them as it is. Because with chroma key, you can't have fluctuating focus and everything like that things, or adjusting the brightness, because chroma key in OBS Studio, it doesn't like it too much. It gives you a bad chroma key and you get this weird blotchy patterns and all this other type of stuff, which is not good. So we're going to hit OK. We got everything turned off where we want it. We got the picture to where we want it. We can even take it one step further by right-clicking the scene title and going to our filters and adding a color correction. And this is all we're going to do, is maybe a light color correction. We do not want to add our chroma key to this scene. We just want to add a color correction. Now the correction, we can add a little more contrast to it, you know, maybe a little less contrast, maybe a little less gamma, more contrast. I like a little more contrast, and maybe turn down the brightness just a hair. All right, and that's all we really need to do with that. Adjust it as you see fit. All right, so now that I look okay in this camera, we're going to generate another scene, right? This one we're going to call it main camera chroma photo. Okay, now that we got that, we're going to go to our sources in our new scene, and we're going to go ahead and add in our scene with our camera with no filter on it, and we're going to hit OK, and we're going to add that scene into here. Now we're going to go to the source title itself again, and we're going to right click, we're going to go to filters, and this time the filter that we're going to add chroma key. Okay, boom. Sometimes you can get it right away, sometimes it isn't, depends on what type of lighting and background you got, but you want to adjust your chroma key to the point where you've got pretty much an all black surface. You're not really overdoing it. You want to turn down the similarity to maybe about 26. I like about 26. And you want to get as much as that screen to black as possible. All right, so you're going to maybe have a couple of blotchy spots. That's fine. We can adjust for that. So what we do here is we're going to close that. Once you get your chroma to pretty much close to where you want to get it, we can go ahead and adjust for that. Say on the bottom left there, you see how it's kind of grayish and not totally black. That's fine. We can go ahead and just hit Alt and hit left click and just bring that up until that disappears. You can do that on the same other side as well, and we can crop this in till we get to the point where we feel comfortable that it isn't jittery and sketchy or anything like that. We'll go about there. All right. Then we're going to right click again on the scene itself, or the source that's in the projector here. We're going to go stretch the screen, and we're going to stretch it out. Now we got a pretty good clean because we see pretty much black around the whole canvas on the base resolution. And we're good. We're done with this one. No chroma with chroma. No chroma with chroma. But that's it. One camera. Now how to add a background to it. No problem. What we're going to do is we're going to hit add a new scene. Say we're going to call this one shadow backdrop. Boom. Again, we're going to add our chroma scene to this shadow backdrop because we only want the shadowing of a chroma figure of ourselves. So we're going to go and add a scene, and we're going to add main camera chroma filter. Now we're going to go back to the scene title again in the section of scenes. Now shadow backdrop, and we're going to right click. We're going to go to filters, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to add a color correction. Add color correction. Hit OK. Boom. What do? Turn around the brightness. Boom. There we go. Now we got an all dark shadow here. Beautiful. Now we're going to close this. And we're going to add one more scene because OBS Studio has this thing where you can't add the same source duplication in the same scene unless you add it into a new source or new source scene or whatever. But doing it this way, it makes it work. So we're going to add one more scene here. We're going to say chroma cam with shadow drop. Yep, there we go. There's our new scene. Now we're going to add two scenes to this from everything that we've done so far. So we're going to add our source. First scene is going to be main camera with chroma filter. Boom. Here's me. Next thing we're going to add is our shadow backdrop. Ready? Because that's our new scene as well. So we're going to add that shadow backdrop. Boom. Now I look all black. But if you look at your sources and the way it's viewed, the shadow backdrop is on top of the main camera chroma filter. So in order to change that, you're just going to use your left click, hold down, and drag it below the main camera filter, and there you go. So far, so good. We're keeping up with this. Now we're going to make sure we have the shadow backdrop highlighted, and we're going to go back to the scene, and we're going to click and hold, and we're going to slightly shift it to the left, and you can see a little white outline of the top of my image here, or my main camera here. That's where you're going to tell where your shadow is. Perfect, right? Now, this is done. We don't need to do anything else, right? Because we're going to use this in all of our chroma scenes after that. So let's generate a game scene. We'll call this game scene. First thing we're going to add is going to add a backdrop to our scene here. So we're going to use a display capture. I'm going to call this display capture, and we're going to use the other display so we don't have this infinite window of... Just so we know what it is, we can turn the capture the cursor on or off if you want to display the cursor or not. For me, I'm just going to call this good. Next, I'm going to add my camera. Okay, this is where all the hard work comes in, guys. So we're going to hit scene, and we're going to go chrome camera with shadow drop. Okay, and we're going to add it. And now you see my shadow in the back. Well, it looks a little dark, right? But now that we got our camera here, we can adjust our way our camera looks, bring it up and down, and now you see a nice shadow behind me. And if you don't like it, You want to adjust it, go back to that setup, or actually to the shadow drop itself, right click it, go to the filters, see your color correction, and you can do something about it. So say if you don't like the opacity, you don't like how dark it is, you can lighten it up a little bit. Or 80% opacity gives it a nice little almost dark, almost present look. So it makes it look almost a natural shadow. All right, we're going to close this and then we're going to go back to the game scene. And now the shadow isn't as dark, but it still looks kind of like a shadow in the background. And there you go. One camera, 3 awesome tricks. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and turn that bell to catch all that we do on this channel. Oh, but yes. Till the next time, be well. Check out the link in the link tree in the description, and we'll see you in the live streams. Oh, but yes.